Hey, good afternoon, class. Hope you guys are all doing well. Mr. Hale here. Just wanted to finish up our chapter on thermal energy and heat. Today we're going to be talking about thermal expansion. What is it, and how can we use it? Okay, thermal expansion. Here are the basic notes behind it. Is a tendency of matter to change volume in response to change in temperature. Basically, when things start to heat up, the molecules want to expand and take up more space. When they take up more space, they got to go somewhere, which means they normally get longer or take up more volume. So here in this picture you can see the small little tube at one temperature. The straw has some liquid into it, but when we move it and put our hand there, the hand heats up the liquid. As the hand heats up, the liquid's going to heat up, taking up more space, which forces the liquid up the straw. And this is basically how a thermometer works if you have one of the old style thermometers. You put the thermometer in your mouth, and some of you guys might put it somewhere else, and the temperature starts to heat the liquid up, which forces it to go up the tube to a specific spot. So that's the basic idea of thermal expansion. Let's look at it a little bit more closely here. And here, basically a thermometer. When you have low heat, the molecules are nice and tight. As they start to heat up, they start to spread out. There are the same number of molecules to the left as there are to the right. They just take up more space, thus expanding. We can use it to our advantage, or sometimes be careful, is that thermal expansion of teeth. It is possible that when you are drinking really, really hot water, right, your teeth are going to expand as you do it. Okay, if you want to try it, wouldn't suggest you do. Drink really, really hot water, swish it around your mouth, and then drink really, really cold water, like ice cold water. And your teeth are going to expand, and then the cold's going to make it shrink, and you could actually crack your teeth doing that. Not the best thing in the world, don't actually try it. But your enamel's going to expand, then contract, and that could cause the breaking of teeth. Now, a lot of you guys' houses have this thing called a thermostat. A thermostat uses thermal expansion to help figure out the temperature. There's this bimetallic strip layer. You have two pieces of metal. That's why they call it bimetallic. One on the top, the purple, and one on the bottom, the green. Okay, the one on top, okay, tends to heat up slower than the one on bottom. The green one heats up, and then it also expands faster than the one on top. When the bottom expands faster than the one on top, but since they're glued together, it forces them to bend. The top one's still longer. If you look at the green is actually longer in distance than the purple. Thus, we can actually use this to figure out the temperature outside and use it as a thermostat. When they finally touch, you open a circuit or close a circuit to turn your thermostat on or off. Now let's look at this. Why is one end of the steel bridge, okay, on rollers? See to the right, they have rollers. Why would that be on rollers? The other side's fixed. That way it won't slip off, but why is that right side on rollers? Think about it. Okay. Think during the day. During the day, it starts to heat up. That little girders and the rollers and that whole metal structure is going to expand, forcing the thing to move to the right. Okay. If we didn't have it on rollers, it would start to buckle and the whole bridge would start to bend and start to buckle. You got to be careful when you're building these, because if you build this when it's really cold outside, that's when you want to build it, because that's going to be the shortest distance. But if you build your bridge when it's really hot outside and you put those things just at the right distance, at night when it starts to cool down, it shrinks and your whole bridge is going to fall. So you got to be careful with those. Here's another idea of some ways that they deal with bridges to help protect themselves, is they put these little grates in between them, these little teeth. During a hot summer day, the bridge gets a little longer, forcing the teeth to come together, and you won't see any air gaps in there. And at night, they expand out, and you still have a gap there, but the teeth help you always have a road to go by. But at night, they're like this. This will be more of a cold time frame. And then during the hot summer days, they would expand and go into the teeth. So that's a basic idea of thermal expansion. Okay, reiterate, thermal expansion, that tendency of matter to change volume or length in response to change in temperature, because the molecules are taking up more space. If you guys have any questions, make sure you talk to me. This is Mr. Hale, KD2 LPM for K2 GSG.